Imagine walking into the world's most prestigious museum. You look at the ancient artifacts, read the little plaques, and trust that you're seeing the whole story of human history. But what happens to the discoveries that don't fit the official timeline? They don't make the front page. They get packed into unmarked wooden crates, rolled into dark subterranean vaults, and quietly erased from existence. We are taught that human history is a neat, straight line. Cavemen, the discovery of farming, the pyramids, the Industrial Revolution, and then us. But there's a shadow history, a trail of bizarre, impossible archaeological discoveries that completely shatter this accepted timeline. Today, we're looking into the alleged institutional cover-ups of forbidden archaeology. From Egyptian tombs in the American Southwest to giant skeletons hidden by top scientists, we're asking the dangerous question: why are some of the most earth-shattering finds deliberately hidden from the public? The most infamous case of alleged suppression points right at the most respected scientific institution in the United States, the Smithsonian. In April 1909, the Arizona Gazette published a massive front-page story. An explorer named G.E. Kincaid, who was allegedly funded by the Smithsonian Institution, stumbled upon a massive underground citadel carved into the walls of the Grand Canyon, and it wasn't Native American. According to the detailed report, the cavern contained perfectly preserved mummies, copper weapons, and hieroglyphics that looked distinctly Egyptian or Tibetan. It was a monumental find that would completely rewrite pre-Columbian history in the Americas, proving that advanced civilizations crossed the ocean thousands of years before Columbus. But just days after the article broke, the story vanished. The Smithsonian flat-out denied they had any record of Kincaid, his partner, Professor S.A. Jordan, or the discovery itself. They claimed the entire thing was a fabrication. Yet to this day, the specific area of the Grand Canyon where the cave was supposedly found remains highly restricted, strictly off-limits to hikers, aircraft, and the general public. It gets stranger. The Grand Canyon incident isn't an isolated event. Throughout the late 1800s and early 1900s, dozens of local American newspapers reported on the unearthing of massive humanoid skeletons. These remains, often measuring 7 to 9 feet tall with double rows of teeth, were found in ancient Native American burial mounds across states like Ohio, Wisconsin, and Nevada. The local news articles almost always ended the exact same way. The remains have been shipped to the Smithsonian Institution for further study. But once those skeletons went into the crates and shipped east, they were never seen again. They were never put on display. Then you have out-of-place artifacts, physical anomalies that sit in plain sight but are completely ignored by mainstream academia. Take the Antikythera mechanism, a 2,000-year-old Greek analog computer featuring complex gear trains that shouldn't have existed for another 1,000 years. When artifacts like this are pulled from the dirt, they're often labeled as anomalies, ritual objects, or fakes, and shoved into the back of a museum vault because they break the rules of history. Why would major scientific institutions spend time and money hiding our own history? Researchers and whistleblowers point to 3 main theories. The first is the fragile paradigm theory. Academia is a massive industry built on established timelines. If an institution admits that ancient Egyptians crossed the Atlantic or that an advanced forgotten civilization existed before the Ice Age, thousands of textbooks, PhDs, and lifelong careers are instantly invalidated. Theorists argue that institutions protect the accepted narrative to protect their own funding and credibility. The second theory revolves around religion and power. Some researchers argue that certain ancient truths about human origins are suppressed because they would disrupt major world religions or cause societal panic. If history is rewritten, the foundation of modern society shifts. The third theory is the mainstream academic defense, the hoax theory. Mainstream archaeologists argue there's no grand smoky room conspiracy. They claim the 1909 Grand Canyon story was just a sensational newspaper hoax to sell papers, and the giant skeletons were just misidentified mastodon bones or exaggerated local legends. According to them, the museum basements aren't hiding world-altering secrets, they're just holding boring, mislabeled junk. Whether you believe elite institutions are running a massive centuries-old cover-up or you think it's all just internet folklore, you have to admit one undeniable truth. History is written by the victors, and the people who control the artifacts ultimately control the story of who we are. The next time you walk through a brightly lit museum, look past the glass display cases and ask yourself what exactly is sitting in the dark beneath your feet. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.